Welcome back, baby, to another episode of He Means Well.
He sure does. This is our spooky episode, if you can't tell. How you doing, dude?
Feeling real spooky, let me tell you.
I feel like I should be sitting on the edge of my seat. I feel like that's how us dudes do it.
That's how us men do it, don't you know? Baylor.
Abadonk.
Abadonk.
Oh my, that intro.
Welcome back, you guys, to another She Means Well episode. X, he means well.
Yeah, dude.
We're having way too much fun already. This is great. We wanted to mix it up a little bit, if you know what I'm saying, and put on a little costume, if you will, for our fans. You know what I'm saying?
So on this episode, it's like the spookiest spookerson.
Spookier than Spookerson, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I might bang you, bro. You look so good.
Nah, bro. Nah. I'll play like that.
All right. So, all right, you guys. Let's dive into it. On this episode, dude, I'm feeling a little distracted by the long blonde hair you got there, man.
I know. Just gotta blow out. Slap this hat on and called it a day.
God, what I would give. What I would give sometimes to be a man.
These clothes are nice and baggy and comfy, let me tell ya.
It took us, 10 minutes to get ready?
One walk through Jordan's wardrobe and we were
fresh to death.
So, I want to start things out. I scrolled the top of my notes here.
Get your shit together, man.
Oh, wait. Did you get a Would You Rather going?
I sure did.
Oh, you did?
Sure did, honey buns.
Let's talk about last week.
Slow your roll.
Right.
Because we are not there yet.
I feel like we keep changing.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
You know when she's the man when she's trying to practice, like him talking to the roommate, like just practice, like pretend I'm a girl. And he's like, so do you like cheese? And she's like, my favorite's Gouda. And he's like, don't ever do that again, dude.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now too. Okay, but back to the podcast episode. Tell me about your week. What'd you do? Give me a highlight.
Okay, so this week, obviously we're leading up to Halloween. Ooh. I just love Halloween. If there's any Blippi fans out there, if you got a 5-year-old niece, you know you got that one on lock. I cannot take myself seriously.
I can.
Okay. Abby fully looks like a dude. I just look like my brother. Yeah, dude. Okay, anyway, so this week we're leading up to Halloween, and Jordan and I got our costumes. You may not believe it, but it was my idea to be Anakin and Padme because I like her outfit.
But for those of you that don't know Jordan is an ultimate Star Wars fan.
Stan.
Like big Star Wars fan. Like has a tattoo Star Wars fan.
Yeah, he's in there. So his my takeaway from this week, his lightsaber came this week.
Oh my god.
Are we supposed to be talking like men or
whatever your heart desires, baby?
I'm gonna say this part like myself. So I was getting ready. Getting ready in my room, and I just see in his office it illuminating down the hall, and it was like blue lights in the hallway, and I just hear and I was like, oh, no one in here. He's just practicing with his lightsaber. So that was honestly the most impressionable moment of the week. I was like, okay,
Well, my POV, I was gone the last couple of 4 days. And first thing when I got home, Jordan was like, I got my Halloween costume. Come check this out. He was stepping in my office. And sure enough, he handed me his lightsaber and was like, try it out.
Take it for a spin.
And he was like showing me all the bells and whistles on it, if you will.
After the first day he got it, he was like, babe, I did an update on it last night and it's so much better. Like,
He did an update?
yeah, he spent a little bit of money on it. I was like,
Little.
dude. And he was like, it's an investment for my office. It's going to go above my desk. I'm like, okay. Whatever.
I love that side of Jordan, though. I love, he is nerdy as much as he doesn't want to lead on that he is. He does have a nerdy side to him.
Yeah.
Just
And
cute.
I feel like he's not ashamed to show it.
No.
He lets it out.
Yeah, he
His
definitely does.
Homeschool side.
Well, thank you for asking me about how my week was.
Abigail, my next question for you.
What's up, little mama?
What you been up to this week? Little mama.
All right, so this past week, you best believe I was at the beach.
The beach?
I love the beach. I
Taking
gotta
the
be
beach
real.
each. Let's go get away.
They say.
What they gonna say?
Okay. I was at the beach. I love the beach. There's just something about being with the ocean and the waves and the moon that just makes me feel alive. I really felt alive. I always feel alive when I go to the beach. It's one of my favorite places. Top five. So my bosses took the whole office out to the beach, Oregon coast. That was a lot of fun. Beautiful, beautiful house. We went on a tour van.
That's fun.
My coworkers made it fun.
Oh, okay.
God bless this man's soul, Charlie. Great man.
Who's that? A coworker?
He was our tour guide.
Tour guide. Okay.
Sweetest man. Probably early to mid 30s. He grew up in the town that we were in, and that was his business. He gave these tours in the van, and gosh, he was just reaching so far.
Love a businessman.
He was reaching really far to for example, we're driving along and it just looked like back roads here in town. And
Damn.
And he was like, and that's where I had my homecoming pictures taken. Yeah. It was more so a trip down memory lane for Charlie, but
More than a tour guide. I mean, he was guiding a tour.
it was good. I would say my
of his
favorite
past.
my favorite part of this trip was I went down to the beach. It was really late. I was by myself, dark, waves crashing. Our house was literally right on the beach. Our
It
back
looked
door,
so
you
nice.
walk down 10 steps and beach, water, waves, moon, everything.
What?
Right there.
What more can you want? You just hyperextended my pinky.
Sorry, homie. But anyway, my favorite memory, I went down to the beach and by myself, chilling, just laying on my little towel. And I started yelling. At first, I was kind of quiet and I was like, I'm at the beach by myself. And that quickly turned into, I'm at the beach. And it was just a good moment by myself. I felt real free.
That is so fun to just have those moments with yourself where you're just feels like a kid, just
Yeah.
I'm at the beach.
I'm at the beach. All right. Back to it.
Enough of that fruity stuff with the beach talk.
It was a good time.
We
Let me
want to
tell
get
ya.
into some spooky. So this episode, the theme really is there's multiple topics, if you will.
If you will, there's
If you will.
if you will, there are a couple topics that we wanted to dabble in today.
A little bit of spooky.
A little bit of cringy, which I don't know much about.
We ain't cringy around here. I just Dude, you look like a boy.
Say it.
Your brother?
No.
What did you
I
want me to
didn't-
say? Say it.
I thought you were going to say you look like every high school boy that you went to school with.
You look like a good number of people from my high school.
I know. This is weird.
Your hat should be floating a bit higher, though.
It is, but my headphones.
All right. So, let's see. Let's start with our personals. You got any personals?
Oh, I got some personals for you. Okay.
I'm holding my mic.
So, a spooky story. I'm gonna title this story as Roommate from Hell. Hell. Serious. Yeah.
Okay.
And the last week or two, I know you've been asking me to tell you stories about the roommate that I don't talk about with, and I've been holding it because I wanted to wait.
I literally asked you that, and you're like, yeah, no, nothing much happened. I was like, I feel like when we weren't friends, I heard through the grapevine you had some roommate stuff, and you're like,
spooky
Abigail.
stuff. Yes, and God bless your heart if you're listening. So I lived in a house. It was a perfect situation. I was rooming with one of my closest friends, and she was never there. She is in a serious relationship, so she was always at her boyfriend's house. But then her boyfriend was our landlord, and so it didn't really make much sense. My roommate was never there. I was always there, but he was still covering money for just two people living in a 3-bedroom house, So my roommate and I were like, okay, let's just do him a favor and let's find a roommate.
Wish we were friends back then.
So we found this girl on Facebook. She did a walkthrough of the house, and she seemed really cool, really nice.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't my doing. That was, you know who you are.
Do what you gotta do.
And but we interviewed her, if you will, and she seemed really nice, and that was that. Both me and my roommate were both very easygoing people. Whatever, we weren't too worried about it. Next time, if I get myself into this situation, I'm going to look a little bit deeper, do a little bit more of a deep dive, if you will. But I'm going to fast forward. She lived with us for a good 3 months before she ran over my dog. No. Okay, that's really dark. I'm going to rewind. Sorry about that. So this roommate... She was in this place where she was really trying to find herself and figure out who she was, as was I. And don't worry, I'm not going to get super deep. But I
don't think I can take
we don't talk about feelings here.
We're going to take a deep conversation right now, bro.
And we talked a lot about our relationship with Christ and how she wasn't really raised that way. I was raised that way. And so she had a lot of questions, and I really felt like, she was put in my life at the time. I think I was put in her life at the time, just, maybe to be a guide in her spiritual walk and her faith. And so she started going to a church that my dad previously was a pastor at, and I no longer go there. And so she would just share stories with me when she would get home from church, and it was great. I was super happy for her. And then slowly she started opening up to me about her past and things that she was still holding on to.
Was she your age?
She was your age.
Okay.
She was a couple years older. And the stuff that she had opened up to me about her family was pretty deep stuff that she hadn't yet worked through, and she was definitely holding on to some bit of anger and just bitterness towards some people in her family. And so I had prayed over her a couple of times, and it was great. She started dating this guy, and when I met him, he literally had tattoos of demons on his arms.
Cool.
And it wasn't until he spent the night 2 times, and then I found out that he was a felon. He had gone to prison before.
Oh.
He was sleeping under my roof. Didn't know that. She was just
went to prison 2 times?
Yeah.
Oh.
She was just estranged. Like there were times where, not word times, almost every single night, she would take everything out of her room, everything from her bed frame to her dresser to her decor. She would take everything out of her room, put it in the hallway, and rearrange her room in deep organized.
Every night?
I would say like four nights a week she would do this.
Okay.
Another thing that she would do.
I love rearranging, but
I know. And I love organizing too, but that's like
quarterly.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like another weird thing she would do is like she would fill up the bathtub. I don't know if she would take a bath and then do this or what the deal was, but she would take a bath and then she would put like this homemade like dirt remedy in the bathtub. And I at first thought it was just like a bath bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. She made it from home. She was like very like
crunchy.
Yep, very granola.
I was just about to be like, would I have hit it off with her? There's a lot of crunchy things I do, but never mind actually.
No.
Never mind.
Would make bone broth a lot.
I mean,
the house smelled.
What? I'm about to do that
So
next time
bad.
we get a whole chicken. I'm doing that.
Okay, go for it. You know how to do it. She did not. There was like boiling blood in my kitchen and it just smelled horrible. It got in my clothes. You know how I am about smells.
Yeah, you are a smelly heightened girl
and
guy.
It was just strange. She was welcoming people into our house that I wouldn't have wanted in my house. She was just doing weird stuff. And there was a time where it was super early in the morning and got up to get a glass of water in the kitchen. And she was, again, reorganizing her room. And she was curled up in a ball in her corner, bawling her eyes out with a family scrapbook. And for me, I'm like, oh gosh, I know what, like, she shared with me what she's going through with her family. Like, this is heartbreaking. And she was hysterical, dude, in the corner, crying like that. And there was nothing that I could say in that moment that would bring her back down. She was just like, no, like everything I would say. And it was just really weird. Then at that moment, I really started getting some demonic feeling. Being someone that is in the light, you can feel that stuff. And I felt it anytime I was in her room. And so like I prayed over her. I had my parents come over. My parents prayed over our entire house. And this isn't really like my parents. I don't know the last time I saw this, but my mom literally brought like oil and like put a cross above each archway and like really prayed over the place. So that was pretty creepy. That was my
spooky
story. Yeah. But that's the closest thing that I really had personally.
Like
I shared my Ouija board story.
Under your own roof when you're just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, but at the same time, when you're like this filled with the Holy Spirit, like this, this filled, like it didn't scare me.
It's not going to get you, but it's just like.
It didn't scare me.
Thanks.
It just made me feel bad for her.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for asking about my spooky story.
You share your spooky story. How about that?
I had to sit back and relax. I feel like you need to recline.
I'll recline.
Okay, so when I was in high school, we came home from volleyball once, and this isn't super spooky, but we came home from volleyball and we lived in like a rural area, and there was a bunch of like undercover cop cars like lined up, probably like 10. And then there was like a big RV.
How old were you?
In high school, probably like a sophomore.
Okay.
And we lived in this like wooded area. It was like a new development plopped in the middle of these trees.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're passing the scene, if you will, there was like 4 people carrying out a bright orange body bag. As we're walking by or driving by, I was like, I came home from volleyball. My sweaty knee pads were probably still on. And I was like, oh, what the? And then come to find out, it was a guy.
Because you didn't know what that was.
No. And then probably that night on the news we heard, and there was a man who had murdered his roommate in like the next town over and just behind our development.
No.
And oh yeah, there was one time my sister and like a couple friends, we like walked down there just to be like, ooh, is it spooky down there? There was a dead body here. And I didn't get close.
No.
I was like, okay, bye. But that's probably the most spooky, but.
That's spooky, bae. I've never seen.
Hey, when I had one of my friends, every time she would drive me home, she would just drive so slow. I'd be like, dude, okay, I get it. It's not whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Leave it alone. Yikes. That is spooks.
You got any cringers?
I got some cringers in me. The one that I wanted to share. Okay. So y'all know I work at a.
Y'all know.
I say y'all a lot. I work in a dentist office, and it was like my second week working here, and my boss, I've known her for a really long time. So, there was like some connection we already had even before I got hired. But still, this was about week 2 into my new job and working in a dental office. When you go and they rinse your mouth, right? They have that thing. It's like the squirt gun, like the water, and it blows air.
Right.
I don't know what the hell my problem was, but it was also like during quarantine. So she had like a visor mask on.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
clear. I accidentally, and she was talking to a patient about their treatment plan. The patient's in the chair. She's in front of them talking with this visor mask on. I accidentally hit the water just across her face, and it's loud. It's like a thin little visor.
It's like a windshield.
I don't do it once. I don't do it twice. I do it three times.
Just in a row.
I don't know what the heck I was doing, but somehow
Was
I
like once
managed.
you're like, oh, sorry. And then you did it again.
Yeah, and then again.
And then again.
And it aimed both times. 2 of the times it hit across the shield. The other time it just made a wet mark on her doctor's coat.
And you're like, hi, I'm new. I'm back to work.
I'm like, what the heck? But that's just like makes me want to roll over in a grave. She's literally being so professional, talking to a patient about their treatment plan.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Ugh, please give me your cringe because I'm about to crawl into a hole just thinking about that.
That is bad. Okay, I have one. And it worked out for me because we're still together. But on mine and Jordan's first date, we were talking about, what's your favorite music? What's your favorite food? Do you like sweets? Do you like sour?
Yeah.
Do you have tattoos? And we were talking about tattoos. I remember right where we were, what freeway we were on. We're actually getting on an on-ramp. And every time we drive past it, I'm like, oh, Jordan, this is where I'd said that embarrassing thing. But we were talking about tattoos, and I was like, oh, yeah, do you have any? And he was like, well, I am, a big Star Wars fan. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, yeah, but it's like only if you're like a fan, you'll know what it is. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I'm not a very forward person. And I was like, as long as it doesn't have like a lightsaber in it or anything, then that'd be weird. And then he's like, gets quiet. And I was like,
oh, no.
And he goes, well, and he was like, it doesn't look like a lightsaber, but it's like a crest. And there's definitely like in the middle. And it like you wouldn't know unless you know. But that was rude. And I like, why would I say that? Like, as long as it doesn't have this or that.
What date would you say this was?
What year?
No, like, had you guys been dating?
Date number 1.
Oh, like your first time hanging out with him in person.
Yeah. We met at church, and then this was our first date.
Bailey, that's bad.
I was like, as long as it doesn't have a lightsaber. And it really doesn't look like a lightsaber, but it definitely has like a
star.
Yeah.
If you guys are Star Wars fans listening to this, you probably know what we're talking about. Yeah, come on, good girlfriend. Come on.
Is it the Resistance? Resistance?
That sounds about right.
I have no idea. That could be wrong, but whatever. So that was rude. And I put my foot in my mouth for sure.
Ugh. Okay, well, enough of us.
We took it to the streets.
What do you mean?
Of Instagram.
Oh, we did. We took this to the streets, and I'm so glad that we did because we have so many people that submitted really great stories, way better than ours.
Way.
And so we're going to share some of those, some cringy, some spooky. So buckle up, honey. Get your popcorn because it's about to get silly up in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? New game. Every time I say, you know what I mean, what do you do? What do they do? Every time I say that, what do they do?
I don't know. People are folding laundry, driving their cars, drinking their coffee. They're all doing something different.
Okay.
I don't know.
Whatever. Okay, let's start with the cringy one. Do you want me to go first?
I think I'd like to go first.
All right, go for it, girl. You go, girl. You go,
I
shoddy.
just said that to be funny, but I will go first. Okay, so let's see. Oh no, this would be bad. Okay, so this one time I was with what?
I just can't believe how much of a man I look like.
Okay, this one time I was with a group of my girlfriends, like girls do. We all went to the bathroom together. I couldn't help myself, but for some reason I had explosive diarrhea. Everyone could hear me in the bathroom. There's no hiding it. I still got hot flashes just thinking about it, and possibly on the verge of having a panic attack. Yeah, that ain't great.
That's not great. That happens though. That happens to a lot of us.
With a group too. It's like, honestly, if that were me, I'd be like, guys, clear it out.
That sucks. I honestly would be like, I'm just saving you. Leave.
Yeah.
Go. You poor thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all been there though. Mm-hmm. Similar circumstances. That's fun though.
Haven't we all?
Okay. I want to go to a spooky one.
Okay.
If I will.
Do it.
Okay. There's so many good ones. Okay. This one's good. This one's probably my favorite. I don't know. Okay. So, submission. At the time I was working as a funeral director. So that means I meet with families and make arrangements for the funeral. I was meeting with someone who was making preparations for their father that was on hospice and about ready to pass away. She was really nice at first and actually almost like overly nice, like really calm. And like her father is literally expected to pass within 24 hours. So we tried encouraging her to go spend time with her dad, so she can take that quality time right before he passes. She said, no, I really want to come into the funeral home with you if that's okay. And I'm like, okay, well, I can meet with you at the time. So she came in to make funeral arrangements and she comes in and we're chatting and she's like, what you do is really cool. Like, I would really like to do that one day. I'm really curious about it. I have a medical background and, maybe sometime you and I can go and get coffee. I can just ask you some questions. And me being nice and professional, I said, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm pretty busy, but maybe sometimes we can make that work. Thankfully, I did not exchange contact information with her because as the arrangement went on, making all of these detailed funeral arrangements, she was like, all of a sudden, I looked at her and I felt like I saw nothing in her eyes, complete gone. Like it was empty. I got goosebumps and she started asking me weird questions. And then towards the end, she leaned into me and she's like, you guys brace yourself. Sometimes I bury animals and then I dig them up. But it's not desecration because they're animals and I like to keep the bones. I was so creeped out. And, after everything was finished, I was talking to my coworker and I told her, I'm pretty sure I just met a potential serial killer.
Dahmer.
Like, do you have any liability being in that industry to...
Well, they say it starts with animals and stuff, but she didn't say she killed them, right? She just found dead animals or she would kill them?
No, she didn't mention that part.
It probably, unfortunately, that's probably not enough. Like you'd probably tell the police and they're like, okay.
Yeah, but maybe like
keep your eye out.
Yeah,
like
a warning.
But they're so
busy.
If
anything else weird would happen, like surrounding that person, maybe the authorities then would be like, all right, well, this isn't the first weird thing.
Yikes.
That is so creepy.
And then it's like you would hate to hear something down the road and yeah, that ain't great.
Being that this story came from a funeral director, I'm sure she has so many creepy stories.
I could never do that job. I feel like this
It really
podcast is all
takes-
me being like, I could never do that job.
I know. Okay, you go.
I got a cringer.
Okay.
Alrighty. Growing up, I became friends with my neighbor. His name is Nick, and we've remained friends ever since. Fast forward, I was working with this client at the time, and his name also happened to be Nick. The only communication that I was doing with Nick was letting him know that I was about to sue his ass because he wasn't paying his invoices. So I got to the point where I had mailed out a letter to the guy basically saying, "See you in court, dude." It was then my neighbor from childhood, Nick's birthday, that rolled around, and so I texted him saying, "Happy birthday, you greasy ass." I didn't get a reply from him, and I thought that was neighbor Nick I texted. And then on Christmas, I texted him again and said, "Merry Christmas, you fat ass." He replied back, "It's not my birthday." I replied confused and said, "Oh, I thought I saw that on Facebook. I'm sorry." Come to find out, I had been texting my client, who I was about to be suing, Nick, and not my longtime childhood friend, neighbor Nick. R.I.P.
I bet his ass backed out of that court case real quick.
I will not be suing you no more.
Yeah. Take care. God bless. Have a great Christmas.
See ya.
Dude, that's bad. I'd be like, frick the invoices.
Honestly, my contacts are from in 5th grade when I got a cell phone. It's like best friend, backward smiley face. Like there's so many contacts that I could easily happen. It's too easy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm going to go back at it with another cringer for you.
Ready?
All right. I used to work in a nonprofit that the public would frequently stop by, sometimes bringing treats or baked goods. Nothing out of the norm. That was normal. Some lady brought in a homemade cheesecake. As I was just 1 second from the first fork full of cheesecake goodness in my mouth, the front desk girl runs in and tells me the conversation she just had with the baker. She said, "Oh yeah, this cake was baked with clean ingredients, super organic and homemade." Then the front desk girl asked, "What do you mean?" Then the woman proceeds to tell her she made it with her own breast milk.
No.
That is so rude. If you
run out of milk and you're like,
I
need another tablespoon.
Go ask the neighbor, honey. Like, that is so rude
it's
not to tell someone.
It's not because she ran out. It's like, how could you ever bake and be like, other people are going to want to enjoy this other than my baby?
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Ew.
No, thank you.
Gross.
Nah.
Alrighty. I have a spooky one. First things first, let me preface. This was in the era of creepy clowns sneaking out of the woods. You remember that time?
Oh, I do.
Okay. So, a couple of months after I had my daughter, I was on a walk with her in the stroller. It was a pretty secluded trail, and I saw this big van pull up in the near distance. 2 people jumped out with clown masks on, heading towards me.
I'm out. That's so creepy.
Just walking towards me.
Yeah, no thanks.
I immediately turned on a dime, heading back to the house. And by heading back, I mean I started sprinting. As I started running, they started running.
Oh, no.
Luckily, I made it back home and they trolled off. No thanks. Bye-bye, clownies. Could you imagine how terrifying, especially in that time? I remember around that time I lived
with her brand new baby. I mean, the baby's in a stroller.
You're like running and just, you feel like you're in a movie. Like, I got to get out, get out, get out.
No.
SOS. I lived by some woods when that happened. And I did see people doing that. And it was like, I don't know, what was the real shtick? Like, were there real creepy people or were people just trying to be like spooky?
I think it was around the time when the new It movie came out.
Oh.
I think it was around that time. Gosh, that is so horrible. Why did people do that? They just wanted to instill this fear in people. It's just, I don't even know if it was around Halloween.
No, thanks.
Okay. All right. Another cringer for you. This one's really funny. My girlfriend of 6 months invited me to her family's Thanksgiving dinner. Mind you, she has a really big family, so naturally I was nervous. The dinner went great. Conversations went great. It wasn't until the very end of the night where things really took the wrong turn. My girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, she comes from a hugging family. One of her cousins, who's also my age, from across the room threw his hands up like he was going in for a hug. And as I start to approach him with my with my hands in the air, my girlfriend's grandma bent over clear in front of me. So I literally humped her grandma in front of the whole entire family. To make things worse, she says out loud, "Wow, that was the most fun I've had in years."
No.
Yep.
6-month girlfriend.
Yep, this is my life, and this memory will forever be burned into my brain.
And that's now his family.
Yeah, they're married. That's funny. I feel like I can see that happening in our family.
Oh, my.
That's awesome.
That's bad. All right, let's see. Here's a spooky one. It was Thanksgiving. My cousin and I are probably 12 and 13. Everyone was downstairs eating dinner. Oh boy, my phone just glitched. Okay, everyone was downstairs eating dinner, and we decided it was a great idea to use the Ouija board.
Oh, gosh.
Ouija board's back. Get out.
Not good.
Okay.
You freak. Don't talk like that.
I said get out.
You scare me.
There had just been some weird things happening at our grandparents' house. Photos of my great-grandparents hung above my grandmother's bed randomly went missing. They've since been found, but it was years. So pictures just on the wall just vanished. Okay, weird. So anyways, sorry, I'm like jumping in and out of this story.
No, I'm trying to understand with you too.
Okay. So anyways, we were trying to do this Ouija board and it wasn't working. So we went downstairs, read the directions again. We go back upstairs to the room we were in and found the board flipped upside down. All the candles burned out.
No.
And my UGG boots were thrown on top of the board.
Not the Uggs.
On top of the board.
Oh?
Do you think it's like one of their dads like, gotcha.
Stop.
We were so spooked out that we never touched it again. Good for you. But it gets worse. That night, we stayed at my grandparents' house, and in the middle of the night, every single light in the house turned on at the same time, and the dogs were barking insanely. Everyone in the house woke up, and we never knew what happened. I had way too many paranormal experiences. I blame it on not properly ending the Ouija board.
Ooh.
I cannot with that, like,
Shame.
That spirit realm, goodbye. I can't.
It's real. It is so there. And if you open those doors, you're opening a door to some really dark things.
Not welcome in my house.
No, you are not welcome here.
That's scary.
Goodbye. See ya. Yikes. Okay. Okay, this one's funny. I was at church, and during worship, I had my eyes closed with my hands out in front of me, in front of my chest. I went to raise my hands up higher above my head. Simultaneously, while my eyes are still closed, a woman walks in front of me, stopping right in front of me to tell me something. As you can imagine how mortifying this would be, I accidentally flipped her boobs. No recovering from that one, from either one of us. And this was written in by a guy. Okay, for those
Set
of
the
you,
scene.
Yeah, for those of you who are having a hard time picturing this story. So a lot of people, when they worship can stand like this. Some stand like this. I'm assuming from the story, he was standing like this, like he raised his hands up. This woman walks in front and then boom, boom. Okay. No,
Maybe
boom,
like
boom,
simultaneously, like you're worshiping, like, okay, I'm just your Lord, I'm accepting this. And then it was
you poor man.
And then it's like, so what I was going to say was.
But I would feel so embarrassed being the woman because it's like, why would I approach him with his eyes closed?
arms
Oh,
out.
I mean, I guess that happens simultaneously. So it's not
Yeah.
like, oh man, that's
just
so
wrong time.
I would run out of that church so quick.
Gotta go. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh no.
Nah.
That's terrible. Okay, let's see. That one is embarrassing. Do we have any? Okay. I'll do another cringe. Okay. So one time I was working at this company and I went to collect a package from the mailman. He came in and he was holding a box. And this is also written from a mail. He came in and was holding a box. Instead of me letting him do his thing, set the box down, I reached out to help him. I grabbed the package. Instead of grabbing the package, I grabbed his package.
Oh,
not another man. And the worst part of this is I didn't even acknowledge it. I just got a handful of his drawings and I didn't acknowledge it. I went back to my desk and that will forever be burned in my memory. You're just like, let me help you.
And
You don't acknowledge it.
I feel like I've been in situations where I
Like
don't
that?
acknowledge the horrible thing that I've done because I feel like bringing it to light makes it worse. But in that situation, I'm holding your package.
That's
I'm not
violation.
And what are they just staring at each other?
It's probably quick. Boop, boop.
Oh
Sorry.
my gosh.
That's bad.
That is so bad, you poor thing.
Bad.
Okay, I have one last story and I think we're going to cut it there. This one, I just have so many questions and I want more. So if you listen to this episode, please provide more details. This person says, being chased by a man wearing a leopard print banana hammock as a kid through the woods. That's it. That's all the information we got, but I'm so intrigued.
Did you get therapy?
Have you talked to someone about this, sir?
Did you know that person?
Like, so many questions.
Was that real?
I don't know if that's spooky. I mean, that's spooky.
It's spooky or cringe. It's both.
It's funny.
So anyway, man. I feel like that's not the right character voice, actually.
It's okay. We can work on that
I
after.
need to be more like, yeah, doggy. No, I need to be more like, yeah, bro. So, he means well, and
yeah, I like that.
thanks for listening today.
I like that. I feel like your outfit definitely screams like more laid back, like snowboarder, maybe stoner.
It's like, because I can't sit up. Had to sit back and relax. It was on my mind to sit like this. Like, this is not more comfortable.
I thought it was pretty comfortable.
I feel like it takes effort. I just want to like. That is actually how my brother.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know. I feel like
when we first got dressed, I told Abby to turn around. And I was like, I can't stop moving. I have to move like this.
It is fitting.
I love it, dude. This has been so much fun.
I know this has been fun. Honestly, it was so much fun. Thank you for submitting all of your stories.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you really much. I mean, they gave me a couple good giggles. Let me say, not to be fruity and all, but they sure made me laugh. I can't be a guy. How do you do it?
Yeah, no, I want to be a girl. It's way more fun.
It is a lot more fun. But no, seriously, thank you for all of the stories that we got. It was nice to see your guys's responses. Your trauma. Thank you for sharing your traumas.
Yeah, thank you guys. We love doing those kind of question boxes. So feel free, give us any lengthy response. There's no such thing. Like if it adds detail,
more detail, the better.
Love it. We love it.
We love that.
Abby, I think we're forgetting something.
I think we are, sister. You know what that is? Would you rather? We're forgetting our would you rather. First of all, we need to talk about just the would you rathers in general. And we need to get this off our chest. It's been fun. Out the gate.
This is the last one. I'm kidding.
Out the gate, we're like, oh my gosh, this dirty feet, wet jeans. Like, this is so controversial. We really need to ask our listeners. And that was fun. But then I just feel like we got really dirty.
Licking armpits.
Yeah, come on. Like, nobody wants to see that on their feed. Nobody wants to listen to that in their ears in the morning, drinking their coffee. If I was drinking my coffee, I would spit that out.
Spit take.
So we want to apologize. We're not gonna have those gross would you rathers anymore.
There might be a couple.
There might be a couple here and there, but we do want to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy. Well, because a lot of them are like, would you rather watch your parents have sex or join once? Like, okay,
Ew,
we're not doing
bye.
those. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find ones that aren't like, would you rather lick poop or drink your pee? Like, come on.
Come on. That's ridiculous.
So we're going to do better digging for you guys. But don't stop with your responses on them because these votes matter.
Right. So Bailey, what's this week's would you rather?
Would you rather have no taste buds or be colorblind?
Colorblind. For sure. You know, I'm a girl that likes to eat. I really do. I like food. What can I say? I like food.
I gotta agree with you on that one. Like, Jordan and I have been talking about this a lot lately, but food, I think that needs to be added as the 6th love language.
I agree.
It really does. Like, it just is a love language, whether it's the act of cooking or eating. It means some.
Yeah. And like eating with someone else, cooking with someone else like that.
It seems like what I hear.
That's quality, if you ask me.
If you're colorblind, it's more like monochromatic. It's not like black and white.
My job would be really hard
to be colorblind.
My job, goodbye.
You can't do my job.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Let's try and see. Let's step in their shoes. Let's see big picture here. Who would say they would rather be colorblind? I guess someone that could care less about food.
Probably my mom. She's like, I mean, she likes food and all, but it's like, I feel like a lot of times like, oh, I forgot to eat today.
Oh, my mom's that way too.
Yeah, I feel like they would rather see color.
Yeah, if I forget to eat, I am not a good, happy girl.
Watch out.
Yeah, it does happen every once in a while. But again, you guys, please submit your answer following our Instagram post.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, baby.
You know what it means. Like, subscribe, comment, follow. Ew, that was just so cringy, bro.
Put my mic too high. We love you guys.
We love you guys.
This has been good.
This has been good. This has been fun. This has been
real.
This has been real, baby.
Real fun.
Until next time, you guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Club Scout. See ya.